Now let's be honest, when you're in public, the most noticeable part of your body that makes people think, oh, this guy definitely works out, is gonna be your arms. And likely, you're already probably training your triceps and biceps. However, make sure you're not making any of these 3 worst mistakes, stopping you from making better gains in a more efficient manner for the pipes. Let's get into it. Now, the first mistake is spending too much time on your biceps over your triceps. You've probably heard the factoid that the triceps take up 2/3 of your arm compared to the bicep. And while this doesn't mean that 2/3 of your arm exercises should be tricep exercises, it does bring into consideration, like, are you training your triceps with as much intent and passion as your biceps? Meaning, are you taking those exercises to failure? Are you progressive overloading just like on your bicep exercises? And it could be as simple as, are you controlling the eccentric on the way back up for your tricep exercises like I tell you to do on your bicep exercise? Now, in general, if you're doing that from an intensity standpoint, you should be doing fine. However, if you don't really have a plan and you're dedicating more volume on bicep exercise compared to triceps, that's probably not a great idea. Now, a quick and easy way to make sure that you're dedicating enough volume on triceps is, I'll give you 2 options. First option is make sure you're getting at least 8 sets per week of tricep focused exercises. So I don't count like compound exercise, which I'll get into later. I'm talking like isolation work, 8 sets. Aim for that. And then the second option, approaching it from more a muscle balance standpoint, for every bicep exercise you do, you can simply superset a tricep exercise as well. For example, let's say I do a face weight cable bicep curl, and then after that I can just simply superset into a barbell overhead tricep extension. And real quick, if you're wondering where I got my trademark tank top that I always wear, this is the Able Origin tank. As you can probably tell, this is my favorite pump cover of all time. I think it goes well with my 4-screen Able shorts, coming in both 7 and 5-inch inseams, as well as these 550s I got from Thailand for 1,000 baht, but that is besides the point. If you're looking for a pretty good deal on a high quality gym clothing brand, definitely check out Able. They released their men's line less than a year ago, so everything's relatively new. It's kind of cool because you're getting like the first and second drop of this brand ever. So if you're interested, make sure you use code PATH for 10% off. That would be much appreciated to support my page. Let's get back to the video. And the second mistake you want to avoid making is spending too much time trying to bias a particular head of the biceps or triceps. Now, it may make sense for someone like Sebum, who's a competitive bodybuilder at the highest level, to maybe bring up his long head of the triceps versus the medial and lateral head, but for the average Joe out there, this might not be worth it. In fact, if you're within your first year of training, in my opinion, you're better off honing down your form on the more conventional variations of your bicep exercises, so your curls, and your tricep exercises, such as your overhead extensions and push downs. Because at the end of the day, contrary to what you might believe, the best you can do is bias a certain head over another. However, all the heads of the triceps and all the heads of the biceps are pretty much going to be trained to some degree in your conventional bicep and tricep exercises, such as this preacher curl, or even a conventional bicep curl, tricep push downs, overhead tricep extensions. So I think this concern usually stems from people thinking you're isolating a certain head from another, when in reality, just because you might be biasing the long head preferentially a little bit, doesn't mean that the short head of the biceps is like getting no love at all. Instead, I would recommend for a well-rounded arm routine, make sure you're doing all 4 of these exercises somewhere throughout the week. First off, you want some sort of lengthened focus bicep curl. Second, you want some sort of hammer curl for the brachialis, which isn't even a subdivision of the biceps. Instead, it's a different muscle that also aids in elbow flexion. But because it's a part of your arm, we're gonna include it in arms. And then you wanna do some sort of push down with your arm at your side for the triceps, as well as some sort of overhead tricep exercise. Could be on a cable, bar, doesn't really matter. With that said, if you want more guidance on creating a workout program that's not only optimized for arm growth, but overall entire body growth, then I highly recommend you apply to my exclusive one-on-one fitness coaching program, where I not only do that, but also provide you guidance on what you should be eating in order to get to your goals, not only in an efficient way, but in a sustainable manner. So if that sounds interesting to you, check the link in the description to apply for my coaching program. Let's get back to it. Now, the last mistake you want to avoid is making sure that you're not relying on chest and back biasing compound exercises for training your arms. Maybe it's a part of my own lifting philosophy, but regardless of whatever exercise I'm doing, whether it's an isolation exercise or even a compound exercise, I always only have one target muscle group in mind. Now this is different from the last point of trying to preferentiate a specific subdivision within a muscle group, so long head versus short head. What we're really talking about here is whether we want to train chest or the triceps, or whether we want to train back or the biceps. These are two entirely different muscle groups that, depending on how you execute a certain movement, can be preferentiated to a pretty significant degree. For example, let's take a barbell bench press. Sure, I might be getting some sort of tricep activation at the end of the range of motion here. However, the main focus of this exercise is going to be getting a deep stretch on my chest, and ultimately, I consider this a chest exercise, even though technically my triceps are involved. However, if I want to do a triceps-focused bench press, then what I'm going to do is actually take a shorter grip and have a more tucked elbow angle so that now the focus is more on my triceps compared to my chest, at least compared to before. So I'm not saying you should avoid all compound lifts, because in the case of the triceps, if you're doing compound exercises that are actually triceps biasing, you can probably bias the lateral and medial head of the triceps better than if you were just doing isolation exercises. So to reiterate, if you're going to do a compound movement for your triceps or biceps, it better be a variation that actually preferentiates the biceps over the triceps, because for some individuals, your back and your chest is just going to take over. This means instead of doing a pull-up, you should be doing a chin-up. This means if you're doing a tricep dip, make sure your elbows are actually tucked to your side of your body. And of course, in the case of a close grip bench press, make sure that, once again, you're having a little bit less elbow flare, and you're taking a closer grip so your elbows are once again closer to your body. And those are just compound exercises. In my opinion, it shouldn't stop there. I think you can even get away with not doing any tricep biasing compound movements if you don't want to, if you're doing isolation work for the triceps and biceps. This means for the triceps, it's going to be your push downs, it's going to be your overhead tricep extensions, and for your biceps, of course, it's going to be your curls. In my mind, if you're trying to maximize arm growth, you definitely want to incorporate some sort of isolation movement where you can rest assured that you're properly biasing the tricep and exercise, because that's literally the only muscle that's involved. That's the point of an isolation exercise. All right, so I talked about a lot of mistakes more at the exercise choice and a little bit at the programming level. However, if you want to know the bigger mistakes regarding biceps form as well as triceps individually, be on the lookout for a future video that I'm going to be making about the worst mistakes for the biceps as well as the triceps individually. Or in the meantime, check out my shorts, my mini shorts covering exercise form. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like to support my page, hit subscribe to level up your physique, and I'll see y'all in the next one.